Hi, Ted Chu here. It's the end of the week, almost dinner time. I wanted to give you a summary of what happened this past week at Queen's Park. You know, there's a lot fewer reporters at Queen's Park than Parliament Hill in Ottawa, so it can be hard to find news, and that's why I think it's important to give a summary. I'm going to talk about three things. One is the plan for people to book their vaccination appointments, and the question of who is an essential worker and in what order they get vaccines. The second thing is personal support workers and a program that was announced to train more personal support workers and give them free tuition. Third thing is a bill that proposes new rules about election financing and actual elections. If you want to hear the details, please stick with me. Otherwise, join me a week from now when I give another weekly summary. If you want to stick around and listen, thank you very much. The first thing is the system for booking vaccinations. You might know, you might not know, that Guelph is already vaccinating people 80 years and over. They seem to be ahead of the game. Ottawa is starting next week. Kingston has its own booking system for vaccinations for the people who are getting vaccinated now. But everybody is supposed to transition to this provincial system on March the 15th. And you'd think that we knew that vaccinations were coming, so we would prepare the system and make sure it was okay well in advance. But apparently they're working to make sure everything's going to work. And there's a question of whether there will be a smooth transition between these local booking systems and this province-wide booking system. There's also the question of who is an essential worker. The essential workers will get in line on May the 1st. So like teachers, fire, police, things like that. Cabinet is still deciding who the essential workers are. And you'd think that since we knew vaccines were coming, that they could have had this decided earlier. So we still wouldn't be still waiting for that. The second thing is the government announced a program to give free tuition to 6,000 new personal support worker students and to give a $2,000 tuition grant to the roughly 2,200 PSW students who are currently already studying. And that is a good thing. The opposition point was that that's too little too late. We certainly need a lot more PSWs. But one thing is for sure, deploying more and better trained personal support workers and making the best use of the labor they provide will be critical to the quality of care throughout society. Another thing is the $3 pay raise that personal support workers received in the fall. Doug Ford has suggested that he supports making it permanent. The opposition was pushing him to make it official so that he couldn't go back on it. Last thing, Bill 254. It's about elections and election finances. I like the fact that this bill increases the number of advance poll days, make it easier to vote. That's always good. Second thing, I like the tighter controls on money spent by third-party advertisers. So one thing they're going to do is define collusion a lot more carefully. Political parties and third-party advertisers cannot coordinate their communications. Because if they could, you could imagine somebody with a lot of money would set up a bunch of third parties to advertise, and they would all help the political party in their communications. That is bad. That is not allowed because that's a way of circumventing the spending rules, which are meant to control the influence of money on election campaigns. So I think it's really good to have those that better definition of collusion. I like the fact that they're putting the fundraising for independent candidates on the same footing as the fundraising for party candidates. So right now, if you're an independent candidate, you cannot take donations until the election is called and you've been certified as a candidate and you open a bank account. People running for a party, they can take donations in their riding association. So this new legislation is going to allow independent candidates to have riding associations so that they can raise money just like the party candidates. I think that's fair. I think that's good. I don't support the fact that they're doubling the donation limits in this bill from $1,650 to $3,300. There's not too many people who can donate that maximum. And the risk is that if you increase the limit so that you have these large donations, then there's this cash for access game. There's pressure to pay special attention to people who donate more. The current limit is working fine. I don't see any particular reason to raise that limit. If you like this summary, please join me next week where I'll look back and try to give you another summary of what happened at Queen's Park. Thanks for joining me.